Wah.
Welcome back to another Unscripted Sports Days podcast. Got a good one for you guys today. All-Star Weekend. So that's where we're going to start at. We can start there. There's not really much to talk about because it was so terrible. And then we're going to go into, the second half after All-Star Weekend, what teams we think are going to excel, and maybe what teams we think are not going to excel. And then, obviously, we'll go into our gambling segment, best picks, best prop picks for the upcoming second half of the season, also for the upcoming week. So, without further ado, let's start talking about our first topic, the All-Star break. Or the All-Star Game, sorry. How can it be better? Because I don't even want to talk about if it was good or bad. I just want to... It was terrible. How can it be better? What do you think can make it better?
First of all, they need to just go back to East versus West.
And how about we do white jerseys versus home jerseys, home and away jerseys? That's the aura. Go ahead.
Yeah, bring it back to each player's wearing their own team's jersey.
Yeah.
I think that'll kind of put a little more pride into the game.
Yeah.
Because those players are actually representing their teams. And I think, I don't know, if you do that, then maybe you can implement something that, whichever conference wins will have home court advantage in the playoffs.
Right.
That would be a little, I don't know, it's... Because then you'll have like these all-stars that are on like fringe playoff teams. They could kind of tank if they wanted to prevent whichever team is likely going to the finals from their conference to not make or to not have home court advantage.
Right.
I don't know. Or just added more stakes to it. Monetary prize. Adam Silver's all about endorsements and advertisements, so I feel like I hardly saw any ads for the All-Star Game.
Right. And I feel like the dunk contest was terrible. The skills Wimby and Chris Paul were taken as a complete joke. Like,
yeah.
If we can get past this is a joke and it's not like having fun, it's down to winning for a reason.
Yeah.
That's when we can get it back. Because right now they're just like, it's our week off. Like, let's do another in-season tournament. Give them this week off, fully off. Do another in-season tournament for home court advantage. Now that would be awesome. Instead of monetary in-season tournament, something that is, I guess it wouldn't help with non-playoff teams, but maybe they don't have to be in it. Maybe they could just play off, start playing each other, while that season tournament's going on, and then they fight for. I think that would be something else besides All-Star break. But you know who's doing it right? You know which league is doing it right? The NHL. That is one of the most entertaining All-Star breaks I've ever seen currently. Something like that. If we can do a world team, which they already have, but I'm thinking for real, like it means something. Like the hockey, it meant something right now. They're playing right when we make this podcast. They're playing right now. It means something. And I think in hockey, I could be wrong. It's for home court advantage, I think. Oh, they have a bunch of different teams. Well, MLB used to be like that. I know that for sure. I don't think it is like that anymore. But something like that for NBA would help it a lot. And obviously, as you can see from the in-season tournament, they made those guys play harder immediately just from monetary.
Right.
Either we just throw it away, or just throw it away, give them a week off so they can come back and play better, or have some gain to it. Um, I know, like, you win a dunk contest, you're gonna get money from it, but
Yeah.
that's a little. It's still boring. I mean,
Yeah.
if you were watching that and then you watched the crowd, there was nobody there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so, and we might just be on the nostalgia kick because but it's just not good, dude. It's not good. So,
Yeah.
um, now going into NBA second half, who is your number one team? Give me your number one team that you think is gonna, and I know who you're gonna say, but who is your real number one team? Nope, no bias. I wanna hear who's your
I
number one
mean,
team for the second half of the season.
I think it's a tough question. I It pains me to say this, but I think I might say the Cavs. I think um, they've just got a lot of team chemistry.
Yeah,
They've been playing really well together. They've been playing good basketball, and when they're healthy, they're a dangerous
they're
team.
fucking good.
Um, but that being said, that's the thing that they struggle with the most is their health. They've always got somebody who's injured. Um, I think the Thunder in the West are is it's going to be the team that everybody's going to say like, oh, they're the number one team right now. It makes sense. They're playing great. My thing is they're still a really young team.
Hmm.
They don't really have a whole lot of playoff experience. Um, and I mean, I don't know. I just don't. I don't really trust them to beat all the top teams in 4 times in 7 games. I
Yeah,
think they're playing great right now. I just don't know if it's super sustainable. Um,
I agree.
so yeah,
My the teams that I'm gonna pick are. I mean, a team that surprised me honestly in the West is the Grizzlies. I know that
yeah,
Ja came back and he's like half their team, um, but Desmond Bane's been playing great. They just don't. They're not there. They don't. I don't think they have the
yeah,
depth, but they've been playing great. That's a team that I've actually been excited to watch in the postseason. Um, I'm also really excited to see how the Lakers, just to see how the Lakers shake out over the postseason, over the end of the season, because it's gonna be it's gonna be cool to watch how they kind of interact with each other, all the other players. I wish they would have had Mark Williams, but obviously they don't.
yeah.
But I'm excited to see because Luka has not been playing like statistically great since he got there.
No,
I think it's still because it's LeBron James' team and he has the ball. He's not. Luka doesn't have the ball in his hand like did on the Mavericks. He had the ball every time. He
yeah,
was the point guard. And it's kind of like having two LeBrons on the same team. It's going to be hard to give them both the ball. But back to top teams, I do like the OKC Thunder. I do see what you say. Like when you put a matchup between the OKC Thunder top team against guards. I mean, like if you're betting, I think it's like 65% of their top shooting guard, the top points per game guard is going to be under their points per game. So, like you put that team against the Cavs, I don't think their backcourt is that right? I don't think their bigs can
the front court.
their front court. I don't think their front court can keep up with the Cavs front court. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, Cavs front court is probably the best in the league, um, just from a 1-2 punch of Allen and Mobley. It's gonna be that's the one that I mean, great games. We watched both those games. Thunder killed them. And I think the Cavs won the other one, if I'm not mistaken. I just don't think in 7 games it's gonna be that close at the end of the season. If the Cavs stay
yeah,
healthy, like you said.
yeah,
And then a team that I'm going to go the other way. A team that's going to fail. Obviously, Wimby being out. the Spurs are going to drop, which is good because now they have a chance to get Cooper Flag in the lottery.
Yeah.
I think this is exactly what I think I saw a post. This is exactly what happened to the Spurs. I think DeMarcus Robinson, is that his name? That's not his name. Oh my gosh.
Duncan Robinson.
Duncan Robinson. He got hurt.
No. It's
No, yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is his
I know
name?
what you're talking about. I know it, but David Robinson.
David. Yeah. He got hurt. They were middle of the pack, and then they got Tim Duncan in the lottery, number 1 overall pick. And then obviously we know what happened after that. So they get Cooper Flag, Wemby, and Fox. That's going to be a crazy team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it's not great, but they're 23 and 29 right now. So they probably were going to make the playoffs. Give another lottery pick, even if it's in the top 5, because this draft is freaking loaded. I mean, insane. The top 5 picks are going to be any of those guys can help you. Can be a superstar. So, I'm really excited about those 3 teams that I talked about, but there's some teams that I wish the Suns would have moved some players. Because they're going down the shithole, obviously. Probably not going to make the playoffs, and they have the highest. They don't have a bench. They don't have anybody that they can play off of besides KD. So, and Devin Booker, they just can't play defense. That's what it comes down to. So, who's your early projection for finals winner right now? I know you gave your top teams, but who's the team that's going to take it all the way?
I think is an obvious answer. It's the Celtics.
Yeah, okay.
They've got the playoff experience. They have an identity offensively and defensively. And
back to back.
Just all around, they're a very strong team. I think they also returned everyone on their roster, pretty much.
Right.
So I know it's hard for this same team to win, like the same exact team to win back-to-back years, especially in today's NBA where things change up so much. You're facing a different team each year. But I just think they've got the experience and they've got the talent, and they've got the team identity. I think that success from last year and their offseason that they've had, and just put in work. I think they're going to be a much better team this year. And I mean, they've got 6th Man of the Year candidate Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah, he's been playing out of his mind.
Yeah, he had 28 points tonight.
Yeah. 14 points a game, 3.9, 4 rebounds a game, and 4 assists, and a steal. That's his averages. I mean, 6th Man of the game, 6th Man of the Year for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to push them over the top. I do agree that it's one of the teams to watch since they've been there before. I think it's either going to be the Celtics, or since they've been there, obviously they don't have the best record in the NBA. I think the Cavs are just young and don't have the chance to take it to the next step. But I do, if they get to the finals and they play the Thunder, I do think they'll win. But I think the Celtics would beat the Thunder as well. They just have too many weapons. So I think it's either going to be Celtics or it's going to be the Thunder, and that's going to be the top 2 teams. And if the Lakers can figure it out, maybe they have a chance just from star power. But those teams that we talked about can play defense, and that's how you win. The Cavs are great defense in the paint. Boston plays great defense all the way around, and then as we said earlier, the Thunder play great guard defense. So, and they shoot the ball well. If Dortz can shoot the ball like he did against the Cavs in the earlier before the All-Star break, a couple weekends before, they'll be pretty good too. So, what else we got? Top MVP candidates right now. I know there's MVP list, but he's your top MVP candidate right now. They had to choose one.
Yeah,
And it's hard not to pick the.
I'm gonna pick Jokic.
Yeah,
I
that's what I was gonna say.
he he makes the Nuggets such a different team.
Right.
Like just his plus minus from when he's on and off the court is absolutely absurd, and is that to me is like most valuable player. Like it's not who had the best season. It's who was the most important player for their team.
Who had the most impact on their team?
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, to me, it's Jokic. Again, like Shea is a phenomenal player. I think with the amount of young talent this Thunder have, I think they would have had more success than the Nuggets if they, even without Shea. Like if the Thunder without Shea would have more success than the Nuggets without Jokic.
I agree.
And so I think just for that reason, I gotta go Jokic.
Yeah, that's what's going to be my pick too. I mean, look, we just base off just pure stats. I mean, Jokic is obviously having a triple-double. Shai's one of the highest points per game in the league. But I mean, it's hard to look at that team and not say that Jokic runs that team. Like I think, let's look at the game tonight. One sec. His points, rebound, and assist line was 50 flat. I mean, that is just absurd in itself. And right now, it's not updating. But right now, it's like halfway in the second quarter, and he has 21.
Yeah.
And he can get 10 points and 3 trips down the floor. So, or 4 trips down the floor, whatever it is. I would agree that the Thunder would be just fine without Shea.
Yeah.
I mean, like he scores the ball, he pushes the pace, but I think anybody, like you put De'Aaron Fox on a team, they'll be the same team, honestly. Like he does really well in the mid range and he plays decent defense, but Jokic is just a powerhouse. And I think that he's number 2 on the MVP ranking ladder right now because he's won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happened to LeBron James. This is recency bias that he can't win 3 in a row.
Yeah.
But if you look at his impact, I mean, how do you not give it to him? Like he's the best player in the NBA right now.
To me, it's a similar situation to Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
With averaging a triple-double. He made it just look so easy. He did it so much. That is kind of like, okay.
Yeah, right.
He gets the MVP for it the first year, but the following 3 out of the next 4 years, he doesn't get it. But he's still averaging a triple-double, which has only been done once before in history, 40 years ago. And he did it 4 times in 5 years.
Right.
And that stretch is just...
It's like when LeBron was winning all those awards in a row. They just didn't give him Defensive Player of the Year because, he was doing it so many times. They didn't give him, all those MVPs because he was doing it. He's done it so long. It's sad to see. They're like, yeah, but Shai's never going to get it because Jokic is playing. They're like, that's not really how it should work, in my opinion. Because Jokic is the best in the NBA, and he shows it by averaging a triple-double, a 30-point triple-double, just like Russell Westbrook. And just to go back to my point about Jokic's PRA, it updated finally, and it's just started the fourth quarter, and he already has 44. He needs 6 more. So that's where, he just impacts the game everywhere.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what game. I think they were playing the Timberwolves a couple weekends ago. They were up by 2. Oh, they were playing the Mavs. They were up by 2. I watched him go down the floor 4 times in a row and shoot and score and assist on every basket, and they won by 15 or something like that. And it was with 3 or 4 minutes left. He just took over that game. It was.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy is the MVP. Had like I don't know. Watching that game, I was blown away by how much he can just flip a switch. That's what a winner does. So, going back to our best part of the day. I think that's it. Yeah. So, best part of every episode. My favorite part. I literally wake up and shake for this part of the episode. Gambling part of our podcast here. Top money lines, top prize picks. It's really a free for all this week. Since we only do an episode once a week, we can't really do prize pick squares for the next day. It's hard to do that. So best games that we think and best lines that we think are going to come up. I'll let you go first, and then I'll do mine.
Okay. Yeah, let me get it pulled up real quick. Here, how about you go ahead?
Okay.
I'm gonna find it.
I think just first off, with the Spurs and Wemby kind of being down, I think that any price pick square that involves PRA with De'Aaron Fox or points for De'Aaron Fox, I think is going to hit most of the time. Right now at halftime, his line today was 36.5. I took his line, and he already has 22 at halftime out of 36.5. I think any line that you take right now with Fox and then coming week or next couple weeks until that line kind of bumps up because he's going to average a lot, I think you should take it. Now, in the upcoming days, I mean, any spring training game, this is kind of crazy. I watched a guy bet no runs in the first inning on every spring training game, and it hit like 75% of the time. Which is, that's a real gambler. I didn't personally do that. I watched a guy do it. So that's another good bet that's coming up. And also, I'm excited for the MLB to start too, because that's a great way to make some money as well. And then that's probably it for me. Just watch. I think any De'Aaron Fox is a green. Any PRA, any points, because he's besides Stephon Castle, he's going to be the only one, and Vassell. He's the only one that's going to score on that team. So that's going to be my number one. And then also, no run first innings in spring training. So
yeah. So I think one I'm looking at is again the Spurs Pistons tomorrow night. I'm gonna take the under. The line right now is at 232.5. I think without Wemby, the Spurs are probably going to be shooting less threes. They're probably going to be shooting more mid-ranges. That's what Fox and Vassell usually do.
Mm-hmm.
Castle, not much of an outside shot. He usually plays in. He likes to drive, kick. So I think I'm going to take the under on that game. Just because I think it'll be a slower game.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like with Cade Cunningham out there controlling the pace. And then, looking at college basketball, I saw one, I think Marquette and Villanova playing sometime this weekend. They're playing tomorrow night too. It's a close game. The odds are close. I think I might take Villanova at plus 1.5 to win that game. They've got one of the best scorers in the country right now. And they're a powerhouse of basketball team. So I think I might just take Villanova in that one.
I like that. What's that guy's name? I know his first name's Cam. Is his first name? I think I'm thinking of the right team. I just know someone on their team shoots a lot of threes and makes a lot of threes.
Cam Jones on Marquette.
Yep, Cam Jones. Yep. Also, I have another one. St. John's basketball. Any team, any game they play. Let me see if they have any upcoming like big games. They play Marquette March 8th, and then obviously into their conference tournament. I love this team. They're top 10. They're number one in the Big East. Rick Pitino is one of my favorite coaches. I mean, not for the reasons he got in trouble, but for he's just a great basketball coach. In these upcoming games, their lines might be kind of spread out, but any spread, I like them. Any over, any first half over, any team over, I really like I just like this team. And that St. John's Marquette game is going to be really good. Let me see where it's at because it's to be determined. So it's to be determined, but if it's at home or away, or if that's how they do their conference tournament, I'm picking St. John's no matter what. I think they cover any spread, and I really like their team. They play great defense. So that's another one for me. And also, I just found another one. The Cleveland the Cavs and the Knicks play tomorrow as well, and that's going to be a great game. And I think the spread is huge. It's like Knicks plus 7.5. I think the Knicks cover. That's a big one. I haven't looked into who's out, who's in, all that. I literally just found it. I don't think they win, obviously. But let me see. Oh, OG's out. I do think they spread. I do think they cover. But that one's kind of an iffy one. So that's probably it for me. But so we're gonna end this episode right here. Thank you guys for coming to watch. Thank you guys for listening. Follow us on Instagram, X, YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube. Like our videos. We appreciate you guys and have a good night.